Hello friends, it's Chops and welcome to a Rookie's Guide to Starter Accounts. I'm going to change up the way that we do this series a little bit. I'm not going to try to do some big episodic like from your first character creation all the way to a fully geared and completed twink. I just got to be too daunting and I didn't know a good way to tackle it in any sort of coherent manner. So instead what we're going to do is treat it a little bit just kind of like a frequently asked questions or something. So this is the first of sort of a new approach to this series where, if you couldn't guess by the title, we're going to talk about getting gems for your free-to-play. If you are an agility class or an intellect class, you have a couple of options from the PvP vendor in your capital city. You can, with a mark of honor, buy a +3 agility, +3 intellect, 2 agility 2 crit, or 2 intellect 2 crit gem. Get enough marks of honor from winning battlegrounds, you can put together a full stack of gems if those are the particular gems that you would like, which work great for some specs, but not for everybody. You will notice a suspicious lack of strength gems in those options. So if you are a strength class, or you're an agility or intellect class that would like to have haste as your secondary or versatility as your secondary, or you're one of these weirdos that wants to do like stam haste or stam crit or something, then you're going to need to craft gems, which brings us to Wintergrasp. The only place a free-to-play character can get epic quality gems is through Wrath of the Lich King Alchemy Transmutes. To start that process, the first thing you need to do is mine up an astronomical amount of Northrend ore. Wintergrasp is a great place to do that. Has plenty of Serenite deposits and a pretty high rate of titanium deposits, which you can then prospect with jewel crafting into the rare quality gems that you're going to need. This process can take you a long while, and one of the things that I like to do is actually break it up on a day-by-day basis. Because of the way crafting professions and gathering professions work these days, you can switch back and forth between mining and jewel crafting to prospect whatever it is you mined, back and forth without any real penalty. You can mine Serenite ore at mining skill level 1. You can prospect that ore at jewel crafting level 1. So what I like to do is to kind of make sure I'm not doing just this long slog of a grind, is actually just mine up 1 to 2 stacks of Serenite, swap to jewel crafting, prospect it. While I have jewel crafting, and this is important, doing the jewel crafting daily for a $1 in jewel crafter's token. Now, once you've prospected up enough ore, and I know everybody's going to ask how much ore should I prospect, and I'm going to tell you anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 Serenite, just depending on how many gems you need, what variety of gems you might need, etc. It is a lot of ore. I am crafting 22 strength, 2 stamina gems for my offset. I'm also looking to craft a hefty number of just +3 strength gems, and I'm looking at probably doing a mix of, say, strength and haste and stam and haste, just for the possibility of making like a really high haste fury set. I haven't decided on that one yet, but we're going to make the gems for it anyway. That means I need at least 20 purple gems, at least 20 red gems, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 orange gems. This has taken me at least so far 4,000 Serenite ore, just to give you an idea. So you are going to need a considerable amount. You're going to spend a lot of time in Wintergrasp. Like I said, break it up over the course of several days. And one of the benefits of doing that is that when you do the Jewel Crafter daily on those days, by the time you're transmuting gems, you also already have enough Jewel Crafters tokens to buy the recipes that you want to buy. That's kind of why I do it that way. You don't actually have to do it that way. You can do it all in one go if you want. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Another good thing about being in Wintergrasp is, unlike my current moment, when there is a battle going on, there are none of these NPCs in Wintergrasp. It's basically just free roam to mine nodes. That's every like 45 minutes or whatever. Anyways, once you have acquired the number of rare quality gems that you need, because we're going to use those rare quality gems to transmute into the epic gems that you'll use, then you're going to want to swap to Herbalism and use Herbalism to herb up enough herbs to level alchemy from 1 to 75. You can go on wow-professions.com to see a really good 1 to 75 alchemy guide that gives you a pretty solid estimate of how many herbs you will need. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you should probably use their estimate plus another 10 to 20% of the herbs, because RNG is rough sometimes, and you don't want to have to start over. So make sure you have enough herbs and enough of a cushion. Once you've done that, you'll then swap from Herbalism to Alchemy. You'll level Alchemy to 75, and once you've gotten to 75, you can start transmuting the rare gems that you have into the epic gems that you want. These transmutes require the primal earth. What are they actually called? Eternals. Eternal shadow or eternal earth or eternal fire. They'll require those and one of the rare quality gems. You can buy those Eternals with frozen orbs. So the way you would do that is there's a vendor in Dalaran who will sell you frozen orbs for 75 gold. You can then take that frozen orb to a different vendor and buy an Eternal with it. It's a very slow way to go about doing it. The good news is all of these crystallized things that I can turn into Eternals, I've gotten just from mining. You get a ton of them. So you probably won't need to buy any, but if you come up one or two short, know that you can purchase them. What the big kicker in all of this is that the alchemy transmute from a rare quality gem to an epic quality gem still, like a decade after this expansion, has a 24-hour cooldown. So it takes a whole day for you to well, it doesn't take the whole day, but you can only transmute one gem a day, which means, for instance, I'm looking to transmute somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 gems. I'm going to be transmuting, stuck with alchemy as my profession, for like 2 months before I can then swap back to jewel crafting, level jewel crafting up to 75, and cut the gems that I transmuted. So it is a slog, especially if you're one of the classes that doesn't have access to vendor gems from the PvP vendor, such as life. So anyways, once you've leveled alchemy and you've done all the transmuting that you need to do over the 1 to 2 months that you may need to do it, the next thing you'll do is you'll level jewel crafting. I'm going to pause here to interject that if you want the recipe to transmute the red gems, because you want, say, +3 strength, that recipe is a reward from a quest that you pick up from a quest giver near the alchemy trainer. You may not see that quest is available because the quest is bugged. So if you don't see it, the guy is in the same room as the alchemy trainer. So if you level alchemy up and that quest doesn't pop up as available, you're going to have to open a ticket and ask the GM to put that quest in your quest log because it's bugged. The quest giver sometimes just won't be able to give it to you. So that's another step that you're going to have to go through if you're looking to make +3 strength gems. Once you've gotten that transmute and you're making those gems, you'll be well on your way. Know that that quest requires the transmutation of 5 other epic gems, so make sure you have those mats. So you're going to have to transmute, say, 5 blue gems or 5 yellow gems or 5 or something, whatever, to get the recipe for transmuting the red gem. I think it's Cardinal Ruby or Crimson Spinel, whichever one it is. Just keep that in mind. You're going to need those mats. Once you've done that, and you've transmuted all your gems, then you go back to jewel crafting, and you're going to have to purchase the recipes for those epic gem cuts with the $1 Jewel Crafter token. And you can get one of those a day from the daily quest, and you can also get one for turning in 10 titanium powder, which is one of the reasons you should be out here mining in Wintergrass, because titanium veins are actually fairly common out here. And while you're not going to get a bunch of titanium powder, you probably will get enough for 1 or 2 Jewel Crafters tokens, which is one less daily you're going to have to do to buy the recipe you need to cut the gems you want. Once you've bought those recipes, you can just cut the gems as much as you would like. And then once you've gotten all the gems cut, you're good to go, clearly. A word of caution, in all of this, you're probably going to notice that there is a gem called Dragon's Eye, and that this gem might seem like it's a little bit easier to get a hold of and cut into whatever pattern you want. That gem requires that you keep jewel crafting as a profession for it to work. I'm going to recommend you not do this. Some people have chosen to go this route. I don't think it's the best way to go, because I don't think there's anything worth keeping jewel crafting for other than that gem to work, and you get a little more freedom if you just use the regular gems. But hey, it's your character. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you I don't think it's a particularly good idea. That is, in short, how you get gems on a free-to-play character. It is a long, drawn-out process. But once you've done it, you will have probably the most important part of your gearing done. A word of advice, I would go ahead, and since you're going to be spending all this time to do it anyway, I would go ahead and make far more gems than you need. Just stick with the long transmute cooldown for as long as you need to make a considerable amount of gems, so that you just don't have to ever revisit this process again. It's easier to level alchemy once, to level jewel crafting once, and never have to worry about it, rather than have to level alchemy, level jewel crafting, do all the mining and stuff every time some minor change in gear comes out and you need to re-gem a different piece of gear. Again, that's just me. I've had to go through this process like 3 times now, which is what's spurred me to just get a bunch of gems made all at once, because I'm just tired of doing it. So that's what we're going to do. That's how to get gems on your free-to-play. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, drop a comment. I'll try to answer it, or you can catch jewel crafting guides and stuff on xpoff.com. Anyways, that's your rookie's guide to getting gems for your free-to-play. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you guys next time.